Senegal is a country on the eastern coast of Africa. According to Ethnologue, about 4 million of Senegal's population of 9 million people speak Wolof, one of its 5 recognized native languages. But Senegal's only officially recognized language is French, brought to Senegal through the colonization that lasted until 1960. In the past, French was traditionally the language of the public sphere, with Wolof spoken privately in the home. But with the rise of radio and television, and especially cell phones and the internet today, Wolof is becoming a growing part of daily Senegalese public life.
Alors donc la plupart d'informaticiens qui s'entremêlent dans les affaires blogging, ils le font en français, n'est-ce pas? Mais toi, tu essaies de traduire les choses en langue nationale. Pourquoi?
Parce que je suis nationaliste. Point.
Mais nationalisme, Moëlan.
C'est parce que moi, et si je le disais en wolof et tu mets le sous-titrage en français? Ça
oui, baax na kay.
waaw ndaxte man nationaliste la sama dëkk laa nekk et li may wax sama message sama dëkk la jagleel ñoom laay waxal donc il faut que ñoom ñu mën a comprendre li may wax.
waaw
bu may waxee donc bu may wax di bind dama koy bind ci wolof. ci langue nationale.
waaw
pour mu mën ñu jëriñ.
Yeah, that was something that I saw in the Wolof video. The gentleman who's working on building programs that speakers can use, and that can build the independence and what they call the ethno-linguistic vitality of the community, so that they say it's not just something we do, it's part of who we are.
Initialement était exclusivement, par exemple, en anglais. Aujourd'hui, on utilise l'ordinateur ici pratiquement en français. Qu'est-ce que les Français ont fait? Ils sont battus, ils ont créé des trucs, ils ont traduit l'interface de l'ordinateur, ils ont fait énormément de travail pour aujourd'hui positionner le français sur le net. Pareil aussi pour les Japonais et les Arabes.
Ouais.
Et il faut aujourd'hui, si on ne veut pas que les langues africaines meurent, il faut les positionner sur les nouvelles technologies.
Right. A good test case for this to compare that to is what went on in India after independence. That there was some people, for political reasons, wanted to get rid of the colonizer language, get rid of English, even though it was widespread and deeply embedded in the culture and the institutions and the legal system, and it was a high status language by virtue of being the colonizer's language. And there were many people who were strongly opposed to maintaining it and giving it any sort of recognition. Then people said, well, what could we do next? Then there was a move toward using Hindi as being at least a language from here, but it's in the same condition. There are many Indo-European groups, Indic groups, that different languages coming from the same stem, but not with the same social status as Hindi. Why that and not ours? What if we pick that? Then this is going to kill us because we're too close.
Originally, French dominated even the private sphere, but as radio and TV privatized, those media began broadcasting urban Wolof. The language dominates the airwaves today. Pulaar is the second largest recognized language in Senegal, with over 2 million speakers in 2007, and some Pulaar and other minorities resist the rise of Wolof because they feel it threatens their own culture. I too want to defend my culture. At home with my children, I only speak French and Pulaar. I want to teach them this essential part of our identity, says Hassan, a Pulaar speaker. Savine, a local government official, feels the domination of Wolof negatively impacts legal procedures of non-Wolof speakers. In court, the conversations are most often in Wolof. The local populations are disfavored. It isn't their native language. How can they defend themselves in a language they haven't mastered? But others, like Abdou Diallo, a Pulaar vendor, are fine with Wolof as their second language. I practically never speak French to my clients. When we have friends over who don't understand Pulaar, we switch to Wolof, but never to French. Even if one or more indigenous languages are made official by Senegal, implementing them in the educational system and other national systems will be difficult. Senegal's literacy rate is only 39%, and only a fraction of its budget goes to education.
Comment écrire correctement sans l'apprendre à l'école?
Ça, c'est très difficile. C'est un peu difficile.
With the education rate being as it is, even people who are fully competent in a language, because they've grown up with it and it's still a very active language, may not have the training or education themselves to produce qualified teachers because the education system isn't supporting that group of people.
That's right. I mean, then you say, okay, well, if you want to speak that language, then you're going to have to create your own school. You're going to have to create your own school, and it's going to be done with whose money?
The NGO that they brought up with the computers, where they had been writing the programs in Wolof, can't use their computers now because the price of electricity is too high, and they're not getting any funding from the government. So it becomes a vicious cycle.
Yeah, well, if you have the purse strings, you could make things happen or not happen as suits you. And that's, being in that position is really, all of the potential is in the system, but it can't be realized without basic investment and from somewhere.
Ultimately, if Senegal does decide to add to or change its national languages, issues like funding, literacy, and respect of other languages and identities will have to be dealt with and resolved. But as Wolof and other indigenous languages of Senegal find their voices on the radio, on television, over text, and online, and as the people of Senegal are able to assert their identities as speakers of Senegal's own languages, it will be an issue Senegal cannot ignore.
Wante bind wolof am na solo?
am na solo bu baax a baax day jëriñ.
am na njëriñ.
am na njëriñ bu baax.
ban njëriñ. ban njëriñ.
ban njëriñ.
waaw.
xam nga wax wolof.
waaw.
tu es wolof. donc tu parles wolof.
waaw.
et il faut écrire le wolof.
Comme le français.
Comme le français.
Oui, parce que le français parle français, écrit français. Le wolof parle wolof et écrit wolof.
C'est naturel.
Hein?
C'est naturel.
C'est naturel.